Have you tried to buy a house recently in this country? Suddenly prices are out of control, and not just in the places where you'd think they would be. Texas, Florida, people moving out of failing states into thriving states. They're up everywhere. They're up in San Jose, California, which is already way overvalued for like 20 years, but they're still going up. Homes are going for a lot above asking price everywhere.
With his New York City office shut due to the pandemic and looking for more space for his family, in the summer of 2020, Justin Goldberg and his wife Jessica put their 3-bedroom Bloomfield, New Jersey home on the market. The house listed for $399,000. With multiple 6-figure offers over the asking price, the house sold for $542,000, over $140,000 more than what the couple was asking for. But the family then found themselves struggling to find a new home. With little inventory on the market, the couple signed a 1-year lease on a rental, and on the advice from their realtor, they then modified their house search from looking for a move-in ready home to a fixer-upper.
Boy, that is happening everywhere. It doesn't seem normal. There's been a lot of moving within this country, but we're not watching a conventional housing market. There's something else going on, and in fact, there is. The Wall Street Journal in a recent piece found that private equity firms like BlackRock are purchasing entire neighborhoods of single-family homes and turning them into rentals. In Houston, for example, big investors are now accounting for a quarter of home purchases. What does this mean for the country? Pedro Gonzalez is associate editor at Chronicles. We're happy to have him on tonight to assess this. Pedro, thanks so much for coming on. So what you're seeing here, the big picture, is the bedrock of American democracy was always independence, the burger class, people who own their own homes, mow their own lawns, they own something, they're vested in the country. And that is changing, and we're becoming, at high speed, a nation of renters. What are the implications of this?
Well, look, Eisenhower said in his farewell address that you and I and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, to plunder for our own convenience and ease the precious resources of tomorrow. Plundering the future is what financial institutions like BlackRock are doing by buying up tons of real estate. Freddie Mac's 2019 housing survey found that 40% of renters expect to never own a home, and we can expect that number to rise. Homeownership gives people a stake in society. It's a way to build generational wealth. It's the foundation of the middle class and part of the American dream. And permanent capital is now robbing Americans of that dream, singing, "You'll own nothing and be happy." They're killing the dream and giving us a nightmare of dispossession. And they're doing this to underwrite pensions and pad bottom lines by raising housing prices, gobbling up single-family homes, and fueling another speculative investor-driven home price bubble that, if and when it bursts, the same people they priced out of homes will end up subsidizing the bailout. And by the way, many of these same institutions also promote progressive policies, like environmental policies, that also raise the price of housing, undermine the Second Amendment, like BlackRock is doing, and push for more immigration, as JP Morgan Asset Management is doing. Immigration also raises the price of housing, of course, and all of these things are good for business because a mass of indebted and disarmed serfs are much more easily managed. But we're not meant to be slaves to capital and markets. These things are tools for our enrichment. And when people and society turn them like knives against the rest of society, we have a right and, in fact, an obligation to fight back and call it what it is: selfish, destructive greed cutting at the heart of America.
Man, I'm going to print that out. Because everything about that was true. And too rarely said. Pedro Gonzalez, thank you for your clarity. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.